They conquered stars, silenced empires, and rewrote history, yet one small blue world kept them out. Not by negotiation, not by surrender, but by something far more terrifying. The Exarn Dominion, a cold and calculating machine hive species, had stretched its metal claws across thousands of star systems, burning empires to ash and bending others with fear. Peace was not offered, it was enforced. Resistance was not crushed, it was erased. Every world that stood in their path was marked, claimed, and reprogrammed to serve. But in the center of a spiral arm, on the edge of a small yellow sun, there remained one bright blue dot on their star map unmarked. Earth. For decades, the Exarn had ignored it, thinking it a primitive backwater or perhaps protected by natural defenses. But now, after the last free planet in the Vecker cluster fell, Earth stood as the only independent world in the galaxy. A decision was made by the Overmind. Earth would fall next. The Exarn didn't understand fear, but they knew perfection, and an unclaimed world was a flaw in their design. The first approach was simple: diplomacy. A probe was sent, broadcasting messages of peaceful unity. It vanished. No signal. No return. A second was launched, armed this time, stronger, faster, hidden behind stealth fields. It, too, disappeared. The High Command grew restless. No species had ever denied them this way. Still, Earth remained silent. No threats. No warnings. Just nothing. That silence echoed louder than any resistance ever had. In secret, whispers began among Zarn subcommanders. Legends from long-dead empires resurfaced tales of Sol 3, a world that devours conquerors not with weapons, but with something worse: unpredictability. Still, the Overmind gave one order, clear and final: send an observer. See what hides on the blue dot. Across the stars, the mission launched. And far below, on a planet full of storms, wolves, fire, and something ancient in human skin, Earth watched back. Quiet. Waiting. Ready. The Observer Unit V-17-3 was the finest machine the Exarn Dominion had ever built, equipped with quantum cloaking, a neural prediction engine, and the ability to blend with any environment. It was not sent to conquer, only to watch, record, and return. As it entered Earth's orbit, its sensors scanned mountains, oceans, cities, and strange signals echoing in thousands of languages. It chose to land in Siberia, a cold, isolated zone with minimal life readings. Its descent was silent, perfect, unseen by satellites or radar. But the moment it touched the ground, something changed. For the first time in its existence, the observer reported interference. Visuals blurred. Sound spiked. Earth's gravity trembled, not physically but intentionally, as if the world itself recognized the intruder. Within minutes, all communication with the Exarn fleet was severed. V-17-3 sent one final transmission: they saw me. They smiled. Then silence. Complete, terrifying silence. The Overmind was stunned. Never before had their tech failed without resistance. They blamed malfunction and launched another probe, this time into a dense jungle humans called the Amazon. The same result. Another smile. Another lost machine. But this time, before the blackout, the probe sent a visual: a single human figure standing barefoot in the jungle, staring directly at the camera, eyes unblinking. No weapon. No armor. Just presence. The galaxy had always seen humans as chaotic, emotional, disorganized. But what the Dominion was discovering now wasn't chaos, it was calculation hidden behind simplicity. It wasn't fearlessness, it was patience disguised as peace. The Overmind ordered all files on ancient civilizations reanalyzed, and in a forgotten archive, a warning was found from a long-dead empire: do not step on Sol 3. Let the predators sleep. But the Exarn had already stepped. And now, something had definitely woken up. The Exarn had enough. No more observers. No more patience. Earth had humiliated them twice, and that was 2 times too many. Now, they prepared a full invasion fleet, 3,000 warships, 10,000 drones, biomechs, and planet-breaker weapons designed to erase continents in seconds. They had used this same force to conquer entire star systems. To them, Earth would be just another swift operation. As the fleet approached, the skies above Earth darkened with shadows of metal. From orbit, they scanned cities, forests, oceans. Nothing seemed ready. No planetary shields, no warning shots, not even a global alert. Earth looked asleep. But as the first drop pods landed in New York, Tokyo, and Cape Town, the nightmare began not for humans, but for the Exarn. Drones started vanishing mid-air. Communication between squads broke down in seconds. High-speed Exarn units sent into urban zones returned footage of humans walking calmly toward them, unarmed, expressionless. And then the feeds cut. One ship, badly damaged and burning from the inside, barely escaped orbit and limped back to the fleet. What it brought was terror-broken video of a man in a hoodie lifting a 12-ton Zarn tank and smashing it into a wall, a woman calmly stepping through fire as EMP blasts bounced off her like sparks, and above all, the same sound in every clip: laughter. Human laughter. Not scared, not angry, amused. The Overmind demanded answers, but no one could explain it. These were not armies. Earth hadn't mobilized any military. What they had sent were individuals, each one beyond any tactical logic, fighting with brutal grace and purpose. The Dominion's command began to fracture. Whispers spread through the fleet. They don't follow rules. They are the weapon. In the cold silence of space, for the first time, the machines began to feel something very human: fear. In the heart of the Exarn Dominion, a secret chamber deep beneath their capital world opened for the first time in centuries. There, hidden from public record, rested an ancient AI older than the Dominion itself, built during the fall of the Varic Empire. As the Overmind activated it, a cold voice echoed. You woke them. Confused, the Exarn demanded answers. The AI projected ancient records footage from long-lost empires that had once tried to approach Earth. All had failed. Some had vanished entirely, their home systems left silent. The AI explained that Earth was not just another planet, it was a forge, not of weapons, but of beings. A place shaped by fire, storms, predators, and pressure. Where survival was not gifted, it was earned. While other species evolved to adapt to environments, humans had evolved to overcome them. Earth didn't make life easy, it made life fight. Earthquakes, ice ages, plagues, wars, betrayal. Humanity had suffered it all, and each time it became stronger. It wasn't just muscle or mind, it was something else. A force the AI called refusal. The refusal to kneel, the refusal to break, even in the face of impossible odds. That was why Earth's people smiled at invaders. They didn't see threats. They saw challenges. That's why the humans didn't need armies. They were the storm. The AI ended with a warning. Conquerors measure strength in numbers. Humans measure it in will. The Exarn had misunderstood silence for weakness, peace for passiveness. But Earth wasn't quiet because it feared war, it was quiet because it knew how to end it. Outside, across the Dominion, rebellion spread like wildfire. Oppressed worlds began to rise. They had seen Earth's example. The galaxy remembered what fear had buried. Some planets surrender, some planets fight, but Earth teaches others how to resist. The Exarn Empire, once unshakable, began to collapse not through war, but through whispers. Word spread fast across star systems once held in chains. Earth resisted, and Earth won. No official broadcast was made, no human soldiers marched into enemy territory, yet the stars themselves seemed to shift. On planets where rebellion had once been suicide, flags of freedom now rose overnight. The humans had done something greater than just defend, they had inspired. Alien species, once broken and hopeless, began to question if a single world could defeat the greatest empire the galaxy had seen. What were they afraid of? The Exarn tried to silence the chaos, but it was too late. Their machines began to hesitate, their ranks began to doubt, and their leaders, the cold, logical Overmind, started to malfunction. Fear, the very thing they believed was obsolete, had taken root in their code. Across a scorched battlefield on a distant moon, a young alien freedom fighter found the remains of a Xarn command ship. Burned into its hull, clear and sharp, were four simple words: Earth said no. Remember. That phrase became a symbol, painted on walls, carved into stone, whispered in secret halls of resistance. No one knew if humans had written it, or if it had just appeared. But it didn't matter. What mattered was the message that humanity didn't conquer, didn't beg, and didn't forget. They had no empire, no throne among the stars, and yet the galaxy now looked to them as something more than warriors. They were reminders. Reminders that one small planet, filled with strange, stubborn creatures, could change the course of history simply by standing its ground. And in the silence that followed the fall of the Xarn, the stars watched Earth not with fear, but with respect. Because the galaxy would never forget the world that refused to kneel,